display data.
You know what's dangerous? A green screen.
Ooh.
You have a green suit too.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll pull that out.
I'm not here right now.
Well, nobody can see you, so yes, technically.
No, I'm the cat.
Okay, what?
Yeah, you just walk by.
Okay. All right, well, so do we have some sales?
Yeah, we got some sales.
What's going on with the sales?
Well, we got free stuff.
Yeah, what kind of free stuff?
We got pins and feathers and spend more, get more, and you get this free thing. Go to the site because it explains it way better than two people filled with turkey soup can explain.
How much did you drink before the show? Just soup?
Yeah.
Okay. You're high on life and soup.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Right.
do you have any other announcements?
No.
Should I just show off the stuff?
Yeah. All right, so here's the deal.
Hey, floating head.
Yeah, I'm floating it. We ordered some stuff from Amazon, which is also known as a public charity, because it like showed up the same day, which is a little weird. There's this little retro arcade thing that we bought, and we're like, hey, for $10, we may as well try it out because it looks like a nice enclosure.
Yeah, I
No
thought
matter
we
what.
could. I mean, we had the Piecade, but this is kind of a nice enclosure, and maybe we can recycle some of these parts. Especially the joystick is a really nice little joystick,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have a lot of buttons. But it'd be interesting to see like what this thing does, and then maybe I was going to use it to actually test out a new pie bonnet that I designed and that Phil B and I worked on.
Yeah.
So turning this into a Raspberry Pi arcade, we can reuse this nice enclosure
The street finds a use.
for the Dream Arcade.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to go to the overhead?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is retro machine. I'm gonna put it down here so you get this little 4-way joystick. Maybe it can do 8-way if it can read all the 4 buttons at the same time. A, B, reset, start, and then volume. What volume does, and then speaker on the back, on off, switch, and then it runs off of batteries. It says playtime will vary.
You think it's really FCC? I don't.
Well, it doesn't emit, so
Yeah.
it's possible. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
that looks like that fake FCC logo though. It's like.
you mean the fake CE logo?
Yeah,
There
it's
isn't
like-
a CE logo.
Okay.
So this is, no, it's probably FCC. I
I'm
mean,
skeptical.
I don't doubt it because it's like, it's not hard to get non-emitter FCC. Like all of our stuff passes, it costs $100 or $200.
Alright.
Okay, so you put some batteries in. Maybe. Okay, and then close this up. Okay, so then turn it off and back on. Boots right into 201.
Mm.
So there's Power Pong.
Mhm.
Let's play Power Pong. Pong Pong. The question is, like, where are these games from? What?
I just like the fonts on the thing. This is like a remainder of the Matrix.
I don't even understand this game. Okay, anyway, sorry. Reset.
Yeah.
Seawolf. Start. I just don't know what these games are from. I mean, they're not MAME games, I don't think.
Mhm.
But, like, maybe they just, like, maybe there's some company that makes games you can license.
Mhm.
Video poker. So it has, like, whatever, 200 horrible games in it. Jump Jump. Metromania. Checkers. Dice. Anyways, the screen's actually kind of nice. Pretty good resolution. It's not, I don't think it's TV output because I don't see any dithering. So it's probably like, it's direct access. Well, there's memory test. Probably not RAM memory test. It probably is actually just like a memory game. Yeah. This is horrible. Okay. The volume does make it louder or less loud. Okay, reset. All right, so the question is, I guess, what's going on in here and can we recycle some of it? So let's take take these batteries out. What do you think so far in this game?
I think we're just all players.
In what?
It's just a retro machine world. We're just living in it.
Yeah. Alright, so then I get my screwdriver kit. So you said this was $10, $15? How much was it?
Dude, you know what?
You didn't
Like when
remember?
I go on Amazon right now, it's like, here's some free shit. Like I'm not quite sure I even spend money on Amazon anymore because they're just like, please don't go anywhere else.
Okay, so this is.
Ooh.
Hold on. I'm going to be smart and put the.
You can kind of tell when something's like $10.
Yeah, this has
This has that $10 sheen.
This has the $10 component.
Yeah.
Look, so wait, let me just put these back so I don't lose them. Otherwise, these will disappear into the ether. Mouse will eat them.
Yeah. All right, I'm doing this Snapchat spectacle thing too. I
Okay.
wrote an article.
Yeah,
You see that?
I did see it.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm like, hey, look, I made this thing called Ghost 15 years ago.
You can call it Snap.
No, I didn't call it that.
Okay, so this is pretty simple. So there's the control board down here, and then a ribbon cable. These are the really cheap ribbon cables. I know because I use them for the Zoxbox. They're very cheap. And then this is the.
This looks like an old TV.
Well, it's got that paper phenolic PCB, so you know it's cheap. So it's all surface mount.
What's the Z there for?
The Z?
Yeah.
The logo of the manufacturer.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
You think the company name is Z?
What's interesting is why did they put silkscreen? No, it's just like the first letter or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, like whatever, when you have PCBs, paper phenolic PCBs, they always seem to have the logo etched in or something. Okay, so this is.
Huh.
So let's look at this more closely.
Would you like a big epoxy blob?
Yeah, so this is. Okay, so yeah, there's a big epoxy blob, and then it does have some capacitors, although it looks like they didn't put all the capacitors on. But yeah, this is that main chip. Oh, this is kind of fun whenever you see this. So I originally saw this on Nintendo controllers had this. So this is Conductive Ink, and it's actually cheaper than, instead of having a double-sided PCB, they have a single-sided PCB, and then they use this Conductive Ink, and they blob it on to make solderless jumpers. So no soldering is required. This is just like glued on. This is either silk screened on or maybe just drawn or taped somehow. So yeah, these are little jumpers. So that's why they save like 20 cents. Single-sided PCB. And then this is just just some rubber. It's not conductive. It's just to keep the display offset. And then this is a regulator here. I don't know exactly which one, but it's like a 3-volt regulator. It has 33 in the name, so it's probably a 3.3 volt regulator. And then so you have the batteries come in to here, and then battery ground, and then makes its way, I guess, over here somehow to regulator. And then, sorry, this is the battery in, and this is the on-off switch, which wires in directly.
I'm going to ask, why would you put a big blob over a chip?
Because there's no IC. The IC is not in a package. It doesn't look like normal chips, like this, like Raspberry Pi. This is an epoxy also, but the epoxy is square, and this blob, the chip underneath here is literally just the IC, unprotected, and they wire bond it directly onto the circuit board. It's like just that much cheaper. Saves you, you know, maybe 25 cents.
Yeah.
Much cheaper.
Right.
But you know, if it's a PC, I mean, this is clearly, there's like nothing else on this circuit board. So this chip has, you know, the entire control circuitry, the LCD drive. I mean, it could be, you know, I don't know what processor it would be, like some processor that has a game emulator built into it, and then maybe it's 2 chips or 3 chips that are all bonded in together. They probably don't have the audio stuff done. The Class D amp is on chip. They probably have those as separate circuits. There could be multiple. It's possible. And then they're bonded together underneath, and they just glop on top to protect it.
Okay.
And then this is the control board. This is pretty straightforward. Reset up, down, left, right, ground, start, volume, A, B, ground. So it's kind of the, you know, it's a simple button. It's not even a matrix. It's like each button is direct. So it actually makes it really nice for us to reuse this. And then over here, this is a direct drive LCD. So actually we use something similar to this for like Pi TFT and Raspberry Pi and Arduino control. But this one, it's not going to be TTL. It's going to be direct drive, like 8080 or 6800.
I have a question from the chat.
Yeah, sure.
What is the size of the screen? Could it be replaced with an Adafruit TFT or OLED?
The size of the screen, I don't know exactly. Let me grab calipers. And then inches. So we'll measure the diagonal. So it's a 2.4 inch display. So 2.4 inch, yeah, so we stock actually a 2.4 inch display that's SPI. So this one, it's hard to explain how I know it's just like, oh, this is like a 16-bit LCD, other than the fact that what's the cheapest LCD you can get. The cheaper ones are 16-bit, not SPI. You actually have to pay a little bit more for SPI. And you can tell it's 16-bit because you can count the number of traces going in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there's 20 traces. So that would be 16 bits of color data, pixel clock, read, write, and latch. So it makes sense. 16 plus 3 or 4 control lines. Usually like enable, write, read. It's a very simple protocol. You know, you can just toggle the pins. You actually can drive this directly from a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino, but you need 20 pins to do it. And that's why we don't do that usually, because even though it's very fast and these displays are really cheap, this display was probably only like $2 or $3 on the market, you lose every single one of your GPIO. So that's why we use SPI, usually for an Arduino or Raspberry Pi instead. You do have to pay a little bit more, but it's worth it because you only need to use 4 pins, and the Raspberry Pi or Arduino can usually clock SPI fast enough. I mean, like not as fast as you would get with 16-bit, but usually, especially for the Arduino, especially for the Raspberry Pi, you can't drive these displays faster than like 20 megahertz anyway, so you don't get that much benefit. You just lose a lot of pins. The Raspberry Pi is fast enough to do over SPI. So if I wanted to spend time rather than money, you can trace out by just probing these GPIO and figure out which ones from 1 to 36 are power and ground. You know, the ground ones are going to connect to this ground plane. Figure out which one's power, probably the ones that are separate out here. And then which ones are the control lines. You just probe it and see which ones toggle, you know, give you an idea. And then the 16 pins in a row are going to be data 0 through 15. Like they're always right in a row. That's never a question. So these, you can see sort of this bus here, that's going to be your data lines. But that's the cheapest kind of display you can get, 16-bit direct access.
When you look at these things, do you learn something? Are you like, oh, that's clever, or just like?
But what I think is interesting about this is that when I just took apart, I took apart like a Nintendo, a handheld, like totally cloned, has ROMs and a whatever, 6502 or whatever the chipset they used, clone in there and all the ROMs dumped. It actually had a TV output. And this chip actually is slightly better designed, as a 16-bit color output. And the chipset on this is probably an ILI 9341. It's the most popular chipset, or a 9328. So, I don't know, maybe is it an advanced project? Maybe we'll learn to recycle this display. You'll have to get, you'll have to make a breakout. Kind of in the end, it costs about the same amount as just getting a new LCD. But,
Yeah.
But what's good is we have in the store 2.4-inch diagonal TFTs that are SPI. So let's look at, can I go to the compy?
Yeah, we can do whatever you want. It's your show.
Well, yeah, but you're under camera control. So we have
Hey, we have a sale.
a sale.
Why aren't you using ADA Thanks on checkout? We kind of need you to do that because not many people are doing live electronic shows right now.
Yeah.
There's like one other person.
So we just have a 2.4-inch LCD. So it's a little expensive because we have really nice LCDs with touchscreens, and you can also just use the hat. But again, you don't have to lose any pins, and with the other stuff I want to do the project, I need to save those pins. So the hat would do really well, and you could probably mount it or glue it onto the back here, and you just have to pass over like the 6 or 7 GPIO lines to control it. So this is a good option. I don't have any here, but we have code for this, so that's kind of good. And it works with RetroPie, so if I wanted to use RetroPie. And then let's look at the rest of the PCB. Okay, and then over here, we've got 8 ohm, quarter-watt speaker. So, you'll need, you can't drive that direct from the Raspberry Pi audio. You'll need to get a little amplifier board. And then, yeah, back here you can see there's the little elastomers for the arcade joystick, and the buttons, that red stuff, that's the elastomer. So very simple, but effective. So, the thing is, we want to play our own games, so we want to fit like a Raspberry Pi in here. Problem is, Raspberry Pi B Plus doesn't
So close.
doesn't quite fit.
So close.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit.
That's not bad.
Well, I mean, you could do it like this, but that's kind of, you wouldn't be able to close the back.
Yeah.
I think because the back actually it doesn't go flush. Oh no. But you could fit a plus very nicely,
Oh. Look at that.
or a Pi Zero, of course.
Put
So-
both.
You could put both. Just why not? Just put two. Just put 2 Raspberry Pis in there. So yeah, you could put a Raspberry Pi in here.
All right.
So look, we didn't get a Nintendo Classic, so this is kind of the closest thing. And this is going to be similar to the Pi kit, and we already sell a kit, but we're going to be revising it since whatever instructions. This is kind of my way of doing both at the same time. You could either buy our acrylic case, or you could just put a plus in here. A plus is good enough for most emulation. And then I wanted to test out this new bonnet design, this arcade bonnet, and this has a I2S amplifier and I2C converter, so it can read 6 pins plus up, down, left, right joystick. So it's kind of all in one. It wasn't designed for this kit, but when I saw this product, I was like, oh, I bet I can reuse this with a Raspberry Pi Zero or A+. And then when you pop it on, you get
That's cool.
all the joystick controls. And then you'll need to, if you want to use the Pi TFT, you'll have to bring those, you'll just have to wire those connections as well. But that's not so
Yeah.
bad. That's like six connections. Or you could plug this on the back of the Pi TFT, or you could splice cables or something. But anyways, it's an easy way to add arcade controls and audio. So that's kind of the idea behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this away actually for a little bit, because I have to actually install a whole bunch of software on the Raspberry Pi to get it going. And then, I mean, like, I'll recycle some of the components here, but the TFT and that main board's gonna go. Because again, I don't wanna spend my time debugging and figuring out which 16, exactly what the pinouts are for the 16 channels of RGB data. And then, it might not even be an ILI chipset, in which case I don't have a driver for it.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, and also, I would not have enough pins left over for I2S, because I want to have that high-quality audio. So this part will go. I'll keep the speaker, keep the switch, keep the enclosure, and keep the arcade controls. That's my plan. And then, so that's that. Put that here. And then I'll probably go with either a Pi Zero or an A+. They're actually, the A+ and the Pi Zero are pretty much the same processor speed and RAM. Actually, the A+ has twice as much RAM now, which might be handy. I don't know if it's a RAM. I think it's more processor than RAM constrained. And then here is Raspberry Pi Model B+. So this is that same chip, and it has Ethernet. So what I like to do is when I work on a Raspberry Pi Zero or A+ project, because they don't have Ethernet or a lot of USB connections, I like to prototype it on the B+, because it's the same chip, and then I get all like the USB, and I can connect my keyboard, my mouse, and like Ethernet and HDMI, and then once I know it's good, I can just take the SD card out and I put it into the Pi Zero. You can still do it on the Pi Zero, but like it's just more complicated. You have to do a lot more.
It's like prototyping on a Flora and then going to the Gemma.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so the first thing I gotta do is I've gotta burn a card image. So let me get my big secret is to get one of those get like a high-speed USB, like a USB 3 SD card burner, and then use a class 10 SD card. It takes only a few minutes. All right, while it's burning, what do you want to chat about?
Well, on Monday, we're going to take over the internet, Lady Ada.
Yeah. Oh, can you go to the compy?
Yeah.
Just show burning this image. I like to use Etcher. It's a new tool, but I kind of like it because it automatically selects the right USB. It doesn't. There's no chance of you overwriting your hard drive, which is a risk when you use almost anything else. And you can select compressed images, and it'll automatically like Zcat or whatever unzip them for you, so you don't have to like store the full 4 GB file. Okay, so that's going. So sorry, what were you saying on Monday?
We're taking over the internet.
Yeah, what are you doing on the internet?
Well, Monday, everyone's freaking out over Cyber Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to change it up.
What are you going to do?
Monday is going to be all about the open source software and hardware foundations, organizations, nonprofits
Okay.
that you may want to donate a couple bucks to.
So are we going to donate money?
Yeah.
Okay. And then are we taking suggestions?
Yeah.
So do you think people in the chat should suggest some good
Yeah.
or maybe bad charities? Why go to the good charities? I mean, like, mix it up a little bit.
Well, EFF is a top choice. That's an obvious one.
Yeah.
Apache Foundation, Python Foundation, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, maybe people can come up with some. Well, this is have a couple more minutes to go.
Hey, look, if you built a company around 3D printers and your company name rhymes with Acrebot, you may want to consider donating to the RepRap Foundation because you built an entire 3D printing empire on the work from RepRap. So I'm just saying, if your company name's rhymes with Acrebot. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a couple of things started here. So I'm gonna grab HDMI from here, and it doesn't go to the thing. It'll go to my little screen over here.
Not to be confused with QuakerBot, which is a
QuakerBot,
which is a 3D printing device that uses oatmeal as filament.
You know what's funny is like sometimes you have oatmeal or whatever it is that you have in the morning, and when it solidifies in the blender, it's like you cannot. It actually is as solid as PLA.
Yeah.
It's basically like Ninja Flex.
I eat concrete for breakfast.
It's basically solid concrete. That's not a bad idea.
Anyways, QuakerBot is a totally good idea.
I remember when I was at the Media Lab and there was no such thing as user 3D printers yet. It was like you could only buy a $20,000 3D printer. And Saul made a Lego chocolate 3D printer, because chocolate, you can melt it and it will harden, but it's very easy to melt and extrude. And so he made a very simple 3D printer using chocolate as the material. But you would have a heated pan, not like a spool. You'd have a pan, and you'd have to extrude it out.
All right, I'll answer this question. How do I publish Cadfael schematics or code without risking some jerk making a patent and suing me for my own work? That's not going to happen.
Yeah, you can't get sued for your own
It's not
work
gonna
if you
happen.
publish it. In fact, the only way to protect yourself is to publish it.
It's not going to happen. By the way,
Also never happens.
Adafruit has patent trolls contacting us all the time. Like, it's stupid.
Okay, so Ethernet.
The best thing I can say is publish early and often.
Yeah.
Best thing you can do.
Okay, and then this is the arcade bonnet. So I'll
Mhm.
set that up first. What I'll do is I'll set up the arcade bonnet, and we'll wire it up to the arcade controls. And then, since I don't have a Pi TFT here, we'll do the Pi TFT some other day.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
What do you mean, sure, whatever?
Yeah.
Engineering isn't a sure whatever. It's carefully thought out.
No, it's actually, I live here. It's sure whatever.
Shh. Don't give up my secrets.
Yeah. All right. What are you doing now?
Well, right now I'm burning a new image for RetroPie 3.8.
Is this a good time for everyone to go to the site and order something and use the code AdaThanks?
Yeah, now's a good time because we have
Yeah.
30 more seconds
All right.
for it to be complete. And then I have a lot of Raspberry Piing to do, because I have to go through the RetroPie, the bonnet setup.
I'm getting a glass of water.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Later.
Yeah, I'm done.
I like how you waited until exactly when it was finished burning.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm back.
Okay. Okay, finishing. It takes a while to finish. Okay. Objective ready for use. Okay. So, oops. Actually, don't need these screwdrivers anymore. Back to your home. Okay, so got the SD card image. Plug it in and power this up.
All right, what I missed?
Yeah, not much.
Okay, good. I'll watch it on the replay.
Yeah. So now I've just got it booting on here. It's going to take a few minutes to sort out everything it needs to sort
All right,
out.
thank you everyone who's placing orders, because like.
Hey, thanks. Okay, so what we'll do is we're taking a RetroPie, and then I'm going to install Retro Game on top of it with the new software that supports the I2C connectivity. So it will use, actually we'll have a tutorial, but this is fresh hardware, so I got to do it by hand. And then we'll be able to test these multiple inputs, and then we'll solder those controls. I mean, I guess the question is, I gotta figure out how to solder those controls in a way that doesn't suck.
Okay, breaking news.
Yeah, what's up?
Adafruit, your shipping rocks. I ordered yesterday morning. I got my package this afternoon.
Whoa.
Normal, free rate shipping. That's amazing. I can't mail a letter next door that fast. Correct the Mundo.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah. That's how fast we ship.
Okay, this is rebooting, it's resizing the file system.
Do you want me to go to the overhead instead?
I'm going to pop back in a moment, so
Okay.
there's no rush here. It's rebooting like 1,000 times. Yeah, the toughest part is going to be that connector that goes from the control box to the main board. It's the worst kind of connector, and I know because I used to use them for the Zox box. And so what I might do is solder on some female header, and then I can use jumpers to connect to it. I don't know. Because like you can't solder directly, it'll just rip right off. What's that?
Oh, my Snapchat friends.
You have Snapchat friends?
Yeah.
I don't have any Snapchat friends.
I don't need you anymore.
Later. Okay, so
I'm talking to ghosts.
yeah, apparently. Okay, so what I'm gonna do to make this a little easier is I have to know the IP address, and the best thing to do is actually connect the keyboard and then hit F4, and then this will give me, does it tell the IP address? Yeah, 192.168.1.173. So 192.168.1.173. And it's like, oh my God, you changed. It's like, yes, changed. Because I have like 1 Pi and like 15 installs. Okay. So now I'm logged into the RetroPie, and I want to install, I have to install I2C to start. So we have a tutorial on Raspberry Pi I2C. There's a lot of, yeah, there you go. Let's go to I2C. So I know we have to, that's the name, I2C tools. This is handy because it lets me scan the I2C bus. Okay. Hanging out.
Yeah, someone says, are the pins available outside the free thingy offer? Yeah, here's what you do. As you add stuff to your cart, just look at this status in your cart because it'll tell you what you get. Just make sure you have an adafruit.com account because that's how we divvy out the pins.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I did I2C. Looks good. And sudo raspi config, and then in advanced options, I2C. And actually, while I'm at it, I'm going to enable I2S. Oh, wait, that's not it. Overscan and resplit.
Is the arcade bonnet a don't ask? It's not out yet product?
It's not out yet, no. This is me testing it.
Oh, but you can talk about it?
I can talk about it a little bit.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about it. We can talk about it.
Okay, so I installed I2C. I'm going to reboot to get it to work. Ooh. Okay.
So the answer is the product isn't for sale yet, but we can talk about it,
Yeah.
to be clear.
On the Desk Lady 8, I talk about hardware. Oh. Ethernet hasn't been brought up yet.
Well, lady is messing with this. So I saw this documentary on Oasis.
Why did you watch it?
Because
What is wrong
it
with you?
reminds me of like many open source projects. So these were brothers and they're related and they hate each other. Couldn't get along. And
Most brothers hate each other.
What?
Okay, good.
No, that's
So-
not true. Most of the people that I know who have siblings, they like their sibling. But this was like intense.
That's
and,
true.
And this reminds me of open source projects where like the people who are working on open source projects are so identical except for like one tiny thing, and they hate each other for life.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just stupid.
So this is I2C detect, and it detected the MCP 23017. That's the I2C expander. So that's good. That means that that part works. So now I have to install RetroGame.
All right.
So
So what type
continue-
of? Oh, sorry.
What?
What type of functionality does the Bonnet arcade hat add?
I have it here actually. So it has an I2C expander. So using only the I2C pins, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arcade connections, and they're going to actually have little sockets. You can plug them in, and you can get a 4-way joystick, and you can have an analog joystick. So if you have like an analog, like a thumbstick, it has a comparator, so that you can use that as well. So it only uses I2C for all the GPIO, and then it has an I2S amplifier, so you can make little portable games with audio output. Because another thing is the audio output from the analog section of the Pi. It's okay, but it's not great, and especially if if there's a lot of noise coming because it's running like SPI for your Pi TFT really fast, you get a lot of hashy noise. So this is nice. It's a digital 3-watt amplifier, so you get like perfect audio output.
Okay. Unrelated question. The ESP32 board you're working on,
Yeah.
when do you think it's going to ship?
I don't know when it's going to ship. I only made the prototype like, this is the prototype. I only have one prototype, and I made it.
Let's go to the overhead.
What? Okay.
Okay. Look,
Look,
everybody,
look.
If you see it, why aren't you hearting and liking and subscribing?
There's heart. Give me hearts. So the thing is, I think this design is. Those are nice hearts.
Yeah.
I think this design is complete. I've tested all of the GPIO. I've tested I2C, SPI. You know, I got all that stuff working. I've tested all the feather wings with it, and all of them work. The thing right now is I haven't tested the analog or DAC because it isn't supported in Arduino, and I'm not sure it's supported in the development system yet. And I'd kind of like to test those before I ship the board, even though I know technically as long as the pins are right, it should work. I'd feel more comfortable if I could verify that you can get the DAC, the pins that are labeled DAC and the pins labeled analog input work, because all the digital pins I know work.
Okay.
So anyway,
Is the Pi Bonnet arcade, what are we calling this thing?
Arcade bonnet.
Arcade bonnet, is it similar to the Pi Maroni Pi-K but a bonnet?
It's actually totally different. When the way I did it, theirs is really, really good, but it's really designed for their arcade system. This is designed to be much smaller and not meant for like big systems, it's meant for small systems. So it doesn't have like tons and tons of inputs. It only has, you know, basically a joystick and 6 buttons. And it's meant to be a Pi Zero, and it doesn't use USB. You have to install RetroGame, which is what I'm doing right now. So let's go to the compy so I can install RetroGame.
Let's do this.
Enough chitter chatter. So I'm actually going to skip all this stuff and go straight to the section with commands. So I'm going to grab RetroGame from GitHub. I unzip it and rename it, and then I can run it. Yes, that's fine. So it means it couldn't locate. Sorry, it couldn't open DevVem because I'm not running as root, but that's fine. The program still ran. And then I'm going to copy the config file to boot, and that means that if I want to edit the configuration, I can just open it up.
I gotta be straight up, lady.
I mean,
I thought we were just like taking apart the arcade. I didn't know you were gonna do Linux stuff tonight. I'm so sorry.
Why are you sorry? This is like all I do.
No, I thought we were just gonna take apart the arcade.
Yeah, but I'm almost done here.
All right.
Like I'm once this is set up, I'm just gonna solder in those wires.
Why not just test the ADAC DAC lines in raw C mode? Not everybody needs the Arduino library anyways.
Yeah, I just haven't had a moment to install the IDF because I'm so busy taking apart arcade games and drinking turkey soup. But yeah, I've been once I get it. Like I only got this prototype on Thursday, so I've already tested like.
We move fast.
I moved pretty fast. I tested I2C, SPI, UR, tested every feather wing, including the unreleased MP3 feather wing, which actually which worked except for the IRQ. So I spent like a full day messing around with trying to get it to run with an IRQ in the background and failing. Actually couldn't get it to work. I kept getting guru meditation errors. So I like tried like 15 different ways to use an IRQ or a timer, and then I ended up sort of saying like, I can't figure out why this isn't working. But I couldn't have SPI transactions occur within an IRQ on the ESP32. And then I decided, you know what, like it could be something I don't understand. So that's what I did like basically all of Thursday. And I got a Wi-Fi MP3 player working.
Yeah.
But then I didn't check the analog pins. I'm also not sure that all the analog stuff is done in IDF. I have to look again. Last I checked it wasn't, but maybe it is now.
MP3 Featherwing, tell me more.
No.
Nope.
We have to have an install retro game. Let me install Linux.
We went to the grocery store today. One grocery store got closed down because of a labor dispute.
Yeah.
So we went to another one. And then we also walked around a little bit. We went to the Story store, and it was on 19th and 10th. And it's like a curated store. They had the Mr. Robot store there before. But this week, it was like random gifty stuff, and then in the back there was a Microsoft section, and they had
that was it was a little weird.
They had it, and it was the man section, and they had all these beard waxes, and
I know, it was so like, you love whiskey and you have a beard. It's like,
there was
okay.
a book called Beer and Burgers, which is all fine, but there was this Microsoft Surface laptop that it looked exactly like a MacBook, except for you could pop the top off. And this really cool hinge. It was a nice hinge.
Yeah. Okay.
And they had lots of socks.
All right, so this is the new code for the arcade bonnet. So you can set it up so it looks for the I2C expander, and then it will type different letters. I'm not using the analog stick, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And then I only need, I don't need all 6 buttons because I only have 3 buttons. So, sorry, I have 5 buttons.
Someone asked, do we get grocery delivery? No, we walk to the grocery store because the grocery delivery people get treated like shit around here. So it's 2 blocks away, so we just go to the grocery store.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll move this. Okay, so this is that. So now I can test it again. So I've set the configuration. This time I'll run as sudo. Okay. I don't know if that worked or not. So now I need some jumper pins. Okay, so that's good. So you can see I'm generating key presses. This one's not. Okay, so F works, E works, D doesn't work.
If someone's looking for an SMD parts grab bag, what do they do?
Geez, I don't know.
I'd say like maybe pop them off something else.
That's weird. Hold on. Let's see. Huh. That's interesting. My pins are no longer working. Okay, but I did get some GPIO works. 3, 2. Interesting. Why does 33 and 32 work? What's weird is that I thought this worked earlier. Very unusual. Okay, ground. Oh, interesting. It's working on the, it's detecting it here. Already taken. That's weird, but it's not printing it out on the control. Let me hit F4. And you know what, actually I want to, oh, you know what, because I haven't rebooted, that's maybe a problem. Let me reboot. Sorry, do the reboot. Sorry, what were you saying about the grocery stores? I was distracted by.
Oh, I was saying,
Japan.
we just walked to the grocery store because the delivery services, people only get treated them well, so we just walked to the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's only a few blocks away.
Also, that way you don't
It's nice to go for a walk.
go for a walk.
Because you can tell, like, she's doing a bunch of Linux stuff. I gotta get her out of here sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
We're almost done. I'm just going to I'm gonna just do this final test, and then maybe we'll work on actually wiring up the arcade next time. 'Cause it's like 40 minutes, right? Like that's
Yeah.
plenty of Linuxing. So one of the best tools you can use is instead of just using retro game, you can use evtest. Yeah, evtest. Let's see. Let me try sudo evtest. Okay, so you want retro game as the second device, and this is kind of nice. It'll tell you
That's cool.
the key commands, and then let me try this again. So pin A, no, this isn't working. B, nope. C, did I do that bad of a job soldering it? I guess it's possible. E, so E works. F works. And then key down, key right. So only 2 of the pins work right now. That's not so good. So I got 2 pins working on this and only these 2 pins, so it could be a soldering issue. So I'm gonna have to rework this chip. I actually had a little bit of an issue soldering this chip down, so it's not too surprising. It was a little bit tough because the pads, I made the pads quite small. So if you look at the these pads, I made them really teeny. I don't know why I did that. So I'm gonna have to extend these pads a little bit, make them a little bit beefier when I rerun the board. I'll show you the pads. Yeah, so the pads, they're probably like not touching so well. So I'll do that, and then I'll probably do a hot air rework of this, and once I get that working nice and well, maybe I'll test it with some like I2C Python. I can go back, and once I get all the pins working, then I'll connect up to the arcade joystick. So I'll probably do that next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 50 minutes.
Yeah.
A lot of talking.
A lot of hacking.
All right, that's what we do on Saturday nights.
Okay.
Please, folks, use the code AdaThanks. Gets you 15% off on the weekend. We're probably not going to have a 15% off sale again. So get 15 minutes before midnight. Should probably get to it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Sweet. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna rework this.
We'll do another show tomorrow.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe show somewhere.
We'll see.
We have stuff from the mailbag too.
No promises.
No promises.
The desk of Lady Ada occurs when we feel like it.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Okay, later.
Bye.